All right, here I am. I'm here to talk about another season of reality TV. I've been trying to be consistent with every new season of reality TV I finish, dropping a review here on the channel. Nothing crazy, super long, just a pretty short, pretty to the point review. And this is The Amazing Race season 37. I'll say this straight up. In terms of like when I've watched reality TV, I've been watching reality TV for years now, and it's mostly been geared towards Survivor and Big Brother, and always the CBS trifecta was considered Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race. So I've watched those three consistently for years and years now. I've been trying to branch out more and more recently, and then obviously there are new ones coming out now more than ever. So that's cool, expanding my horizons in that way. But The Amazing Race I've always held as the bottom rung of the trifecta in reality TV, because it's not really the kind of reality show I tend to gravitate to, which is the social strategy types. The Amazing Race is not about that. But I feel like over the years I've grown to actually really have more of an appreciation for The Amazing Race, just because I love different cultures and experiencing, just getting a little bit of a snapshot of them at least. And it's just the spirit of the show is fun. I love the idea of them traveling across the world doing these random things that are inspired by the cultures and their surroundings. I love that. I think it's a really cool idea, and it just works, and there's something special about it. That being said, any given Amazing Race season, I couldn't pick it apart. I don't know what it is. I can name every Survivor season. After I watch it, I can name like almost every player pretty easily. I can reference specific things from specific seasons. Obviously, that's my bread and butter. That's my expertise as far as reality TV goes. But I can do the same with Big Brother. I can immediately tell you what's Big Brother 22, what's 25, what's 13, what's 8. I can tell you that. The Amazing Race, I can't go back. Even like, I've been watching every season consistently for many, many seasons. I couldn't tell you what season 30, season 36, even already season 36, I'm having trouble thinking of them. And then, God forbid you say 32. I have no idea. Not even a single clue, because it all kind of blends together to me. So, yeah, I'm able to do this fresh right after it's finished, so that's different at least. But talk to me a year from now, I won't remember. And it's a weird thing, because I do really enjoy the show. And I did really enjoy this season for the most part. I think there was some, like, the personalities weren't as exciting. That tends to be the case with a lot of Amazing Race. They're not the most crazy individuals, which is part of the charm of it too, because it's much more real. It's like they're usually there for the passion of the game. You don't go on Amazing Race for some Instagram followers, because you don't get any. That's not what it's about. It's much more niche. So you're there to experience the world, but also to win the money, or you're a big fan of the show. One of those three, if not all. So there's a certain charm to that element of it. It's not like social media influencers, even though they did kind of have that as a season, but generally it's not. Oh yeah, and the next one is it's like Big Brother people too. So yeah, there's exceptions, but I still enjoy it. I love the spirit of it, and I like seeing the creative different challenges they come up with. It's fun to try to put yourself in their shoes, and there is something charming to the to have a show that is not reliant on alliances and strategizing, and it's just how well can you perform, which is kind of like where I fall in terms of what I don't like about Amazing Race in some recent seasons, is they keep trying to shoehorn in like, oh, there's a U-turn vote, so it is like a strategy element. There's a social strategy element. You do have to make alliances with people, kind of, and you're better off doing alliances for this or that. I like seeing the different dynamics at play every now and then, but I don't want that to be the heart of what the show is. Like if you just have a group of 5 teams and you can just run the show until the final 5, I don't want to see something like that. But in little bits here and there, I don't mind it. Now, what the gimmick of this season, the whole theme of the season, was that there will be a new quote-unquote game-changing twist every episode. So every leg of the race, there will be a new twist implemented. Ultimately, I think this was executed pretty poorly in terms of when the twist had an impact, it negatively impacted the episode. For example, I think of the double U-turn vote, which essentially forced it to be between Jonathan and Anna or Scott and Laurie. One of them two was going to go because there was no room to make up any ground whatsoever. It immediately just put those two as the only ones in danger. And they were two of the stronger teams. Scott and Laurie had been strong up until that point, but just really got screwed by that. That wasn't fun. That didn't add that much excitement. So that's one example. Another example is the fast forward where they let Carson and Jack skip an entire leg essentially just by happening upon the car first. It wasn't even a thing people had multiple shots at. Once they got in the car, it was gone, and they just saw themselves out of the race. How's that exciting at all? It's just weird twist ideas. It didn't make sense at all to me, and they did several like that. So it's either that, they impact the game in an unexciting way, where you take all suspense of the winner of the leg, or in the other one, taking out suspense of anybody but these two teams being last. And then when it doesn't have an impact, it's just like pointless. It's like we might as well not have done that. So I mean, this is kind of a thing I always come back to with these reality shows. Is more often than not, the twists are, if not just benign or stupid, they're actively detrimental to the game that you're watching and the product. So I don't get it. I don't see why they tried to shoehorn all that in. Not great. That being said, this season specifically did produce some of the most exciting, like really down to the wire finishes in some time, in like years that I can remember of Amazing Race. Because so often there's such a formula now to the Amazing Race. There's someone who's like clearly behind. One team finishes well ahead of them. They go off. That team suddenly is like, oh my God, I think we're lost. Did we take a wrong turn? The other team, they cut to them finishing the final task. They're on their way, and it's like, oh, will they pass them now because they got lost? And the answer is never yes. They never pass them. It's just fake suspense every single time. This is like the first season I can remember in a long time that they actually did have big consequences to minor little mistakes. Like I think of Pops and Jeff not stepping in that subway. That would keep me up at night if I were them. They didn't step into the subway car in time and ended up stuck with the boys on the next one. Crazy. And then it ended up being a foot race. Stuff like that was crazy. And there was parts where it was edited. Like I was like, oh, this is a classic Amazing Race. Like, oh my God, are they coming now? They're gonna catch up to them, and they actually would. They would actually be there. Like the one time that Carson and Jack came back from the brink of destruction, being hours behind and everything. And seeing the result, that's pretty wild too. Now to think of that and how they barely got through that just by virtue of those boys not handling the hay properly. Crazy. The butterfly effect. But yeah, so the whole twist thing, kind of silly. I also think in terms of Amazing Race finales, I felt this way for a while. There should be more that they can do to make it more exciting. Because I think it feels like 19 out of the last 20 finales, they've all been very predictable. Or not even just predictable, but once one team gets ahead, they stay ahead. And once the third place team is in third place, they stay in third place the entire final leg. And that seems like how it almost always goes. The only time I can think of where it didn't was when Jess and Cody won on that final challenge where they were assembling the puzzle live, hanging in the hangar, right across from where the finish mat is, like right next to it, and nobody had any idea. So it was just however many different arrangements they can make until they just lucked out and got it first. That was the only time I could think of, which is like, that's exciting at least. Obviously would like it to be more like, not just like a crapshoot, oh, no one can figure this puzzle out. So it's just the process of going through every possible combination. There's got to be more they can do to make it so it's not like straightforward. A lot of them in this final leg, it's like go to this place, get your clue. You don't have to do anything there, just go here. Okay, now go there. Now go do this. I remember some finales where it's like, okay, do this skydiving thing now. And it's like, yeah, that's epic, that's fun, I guess, but there's no way to make up ground there, which makes for a less exciting race. And I get that you're down to 3 teams. It's naturally going to be less chance for placements to change, but there's definitely more they could do. Because even when it gets down to the final puzzle, they should be able to make the puzzle harder or something. Because it's like once Carson and Jack got there ahead of the next team, I was like, oh, it's over. Not only is it a puzzle, and I think Carson and Jack have the edge over everybody left, but also it's based on the race, so obviously they're going to know it. And they got enough of a cushion, so they're probably good. I just would like to see more back and forth in the finale. But ultimately, we got a better outcome. The best out of the 3. Because Hot and Holden, that's another twist, which was annoying. The non-elimination leg. Because I never really liked non-elimination legs, period. But at least when it was an element that you knew it was a thing that could happen, fair enough. But when there's only one the whole season, that close to the end, and then Hot and Holden could have potentially won the final leg and be the winners and just always have this annoying asterisk next to their names, that would have been annoying. Hot and Holden, they seem fun enough. They seem nice, like nice people. But that's the only reason why I wasn't rooting for them. I wasn't rooting for the whole third of the teams in the final leg because of that, which is a shame. Because the other one that I wasn't rooting for was Jonathan and Anna, which is a brutal kind of stain on the whole season. Which is unfortunate. They were there in every single episode, every leg. But Jonathan just extremely toxic and a horrible presence in every episode he's in, just constantly berating his wife, talking down to her, saying how it's her fault. And then when it was something was his fault, suddenly it was like, why is this happening to me? I have the worst luck. It's always I, like, oh, woe is me. But then as soon as she does something even a tiny bit wrong, or something he perceives as wrong, even just like asking for directions or whatever, any little thing, it's suddenly all you did this, you're a terrible partner, you're this, you're that. It's like, dang, every now and then we do get that in The Amazing Race where they just like to put toxic people in there and see how it goes, I guess. But this one felt especially bad. Because it was funny because you'd end up at every freaking leg. They would survive another leg and he'd be moping like 18 out of the 20 or however many legs there are. He's moping and just like, oh, woe is me by the end of every single one, except for like the 2 specific ones that they won. Then he was like kind of happy at least. They had like one kind of wholesome leg, which I think was the second first place finish they got. And then you immediately go right back to any slight hardship, and he's back to, oh, you do this wrong. You're not good at this. Oh, you're horrible. You'd be a worse navigator. You're not doing it right. You're slowing us down. All this just negative speak over and over. And it's pretty draining. And it's not like entertaining to me to watch. So it's weird having that presence there, and then they made it the final leg over like the most wholesome couple the whole season. That's kind of a brutal start to the finale, and then thank God they immediately were set back. But it's unfortunate because it was all water challenges, and immediately Anna is not going to be able to do most of those. So that's kind of tough because now he can always hang that over her head and be like, by the way, it was your fault we lost $1 million for the rest of their life. So please, I beg Anna to get out of that relationship. Like it's just kind of actually sad to watch because she would even say, because she'd have moments of slight supportiveness and she'd be like, that's great having a partner you can always count on. That's what matters most. And it's like, whoa, he's showing the exact opposite. And it's just, I don't know, you get these rose-tinted glasses on and you don't want to see that. Obviously, you're experiencing it, you're feeling it, but then you justify it in your mind. And that's clearly what she's doing because it's so brutal. You know, it's not just fighting. She's like, yeah, we bicker or whatever. No, you don't really bicker. It's really just like one-sided. You might get annoyed with him, but you don't speak to him like he speaks to you. It's crazy. And so it's a little bit of a damper on the season. But overall, fun season, exciting finishes. some fun teams. Not my favorite personalities, but there were some fun ones that I enjoyed watching, and fun tasks and everything along the way. Just the twists were unneeded and sometimes really really stupid and actually bad. But it was a solid season of The Amazing Race. I still look forward to more. Um, it's like it's never my favorite reality show. It's never the one I'm really hyped about. But then I'm always enjoying myself whenever I watch an episode. I still love that intro too. It's timeless and it's got a fun energy that really matches the show too. So yeah, that'll always be like a cozy show for me, I think. And yeah, solid season overall. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more and more videos just like it, where I talk about movies, TV, and reality TV specifically on a regular basis. All right, take care.